for the rankings. At the number one spot, who to me is the most dangerous roster, is the Indiana Fever. I mean, what? How did they pull this off? I'm okay. Let me gather myself. When you sign DeWanna Bonner to a team that needed a DeWanna Bonner, I don't know if I could express how perfect of a fit this fills the gaps in Indiana Fever's offense and defensive scheme. Look at that. Look at her in that jersey. That was my college number, by the way. Shout out, DB. We all thought DeWanna Bonner was going to go to Phoenix to be with her fiance, Alyssa Thomas. And she said, nope, I'm not going back there. I already won a championship there in 2014. I love them. I'm going somewhere new. And as we can see, I want to win a championship. DeWanna Bonner is not satisfied with her one title. She is 37 years old. We know, or 2 titles, sorry, she won in 2009, 2014. We know that her career is getting towards the end. And for her to volunteer her services to such a young squad in the Indiana Fever is perfect. What were the things that the Fever were missing last season? Veteran leadership, playoff experience, defense, another shooter. DeWanna Bonner checks all of those boxes. 15 points a game, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, almost 30% from 3. She is a streaky shooter, but when she gets hot, whew, oh my. Oh my. And I just feel like the veteran knowledge that she has is kind of invaluable, that she's going to be able to bring to this team. And I just think the sponges of Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell, Aaliyah Boston, like they are going to soak all of this up and learn way more than if they were this young squad trying to figure it out themselves. I'm really impressed with the front office of Indiana, how you have been rebuilding for so many years. And shout out to the new Fever fans, because you did not have to be in a rebuild as long as the OG fans, okay? They have been rebuilding since Tamika Catchings. You had one slow start to a season, and now you are a title contender with this roster. Another player that I think was so smart was Natasha Howard. This was the first sign before we even knew DeWanna Bonner was going, and I already loved it. The Indiana Fever finished 11th out of 12th in defensive rating last season. Let's have that marinate for a second. 11th. They were really relying on Kelsey Mitchell and Caitlin Clark to outscore everybody rather than actually defend. And you bring in Natasha Howard, who is a former Defensive Player of the Year, 17.6 points, 6.7 rebounds, 45% from the field. Like, she's going to score, but she also brings length and defensive prowess to this Indiana Fever team, which I would say when other teams looked at they were playing the Fever, they were like, okay, we got to stop Caitlin. We got to stop Kelsey, but we can score on them. There was no fear on the defensive end. And now when you have the outstretched arms of DeWanna Bonner and Natasha Cloud and Aaliyah Boston waiting for you for the last line of defense,
Natasha Howard, not Natasha Cloud. This is a great segment, by the way. This is from Bleacher Report. This is a great segment from a WNBA expert over there. And I'm just going to step in real quick and talk about, yes, the defense has picked up tremendously. You add a stretch four and a stretch three, to be honest, with Dewana Bonner and Natasha Howard. And then you have something like a Cunningham that you can mix in the lineups depending on who you're playing, or have her coming off the bench with Lexi Hall, two aggressive defenders and playmakers and girls who could also shoot the three, spread the floor as wings, and just be very aggressive when it comes to cutting to the basket, just being kind of that dirty, aggressive type Draymond Green / Alvarado / Marcus Smart type player. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be able to get the crowd hyped, and they're just going to be the little pit bulls, and you let them off the leash and they go crazy. You know what I'm saying? Then you got Aaliyah Boston, who I'm expecting to have a big year with Natasha Howard and Dewana Bonner being there, so she can learn some new post moves and things like that, and just being able to go against them at practice, and just being able to muscle up a little more and be a little bit more stiff, be a little bit more You know what I'm saying? Like AB really needs to be a little bit more like a little, you know what I'm saying, like a gorilla, like a real and then either she has to be a real gorilla or she has to be like a really like a slim five, and she has to be able to like really move and get out and transition like a Hannah Stolke and run, which I don't see that. So I'm thinking she has to be more of that gorilla on them. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, and then we know what Caitlin Clark is bringing, Kelsey Mitchell, things like that. And as you hear it, this is the most dangerous roster in the league, 100%, hands down, in my opinion. So I love where she's going with this. I'm going to continue. I think she has some more things to say. I think she might break down a couple other players. I did see a clip earlier on, and I haven't seen it play. So I'm assuming there's more to the video. So let's get to it.
That's scary. That's scary. Um, this is very much a win now approach. And I mean, when you have already Kelsey Mitchell coming back, that would have been a dangerous roster right there. I was so happy that the Fever were able to retain Kelsey Mitchell because of the breakout season that she had last year. And it was kind of remarkable. I see a high key, a super team. It's all the right pieces. Kelsey Mitchell blossomed because of the attention that Caitlin Clark was receiving. She was able to showcase her bag of getting to the rim, but also knocking down the three ball at over 40%. And I would say there were some games that she was over 50%, uh, breaking records. Don't forget, Kelsey Mitchell is top 5 in NCAA scoring, an absolute bucket getter from Ohio State. So you add her, and then we have to talk about Caitlin Clark and what she brings. And it's so interesting. And one of my favorite things to look at when you watch rookies enter this league, this is not a normal rookie. We know that. We know the spotlight that was on her and the magnifying glass that was on her. But when you look at these stats, this says I'm a pro and I'm pro ready. But my favorite part when you see a rookie season as explosive as it was for Caitlin Clark, there is a level up your sophomore season. And the front office for the Indiana Fever was anticipating that and saying, we are not going to let this great sophomore season go to waste. We're going to give you players that are going to actually give you wins and help you in other areas that maybe you lack. Which is you can't be happier from a front office to be able to do that for you right off the bat. There is a level of confidence that grows from once you realize, okay, I have played every team in the W. I played them twice. I have a primary defender. I know how they're going to defend me. Let's watch that tape and then let's work in the off season on how to counter those moves. They're going to make me go left. All right. I love going left. I love going right. How do I counter? How do I cross over? She has had months to perfect that, and it's gonna be even scarier when she comes back for her sophomore season. And now you have DeWanna Bonner, Natasha Howard, a Kelsey Mitchell. They also have Sydney Colson, who's just gonna bring a different level of energy off the bench, on the bench, off the court that I think the Indiana Fever need as well. They lose Katie Lou Samuelson. They lose Erica Wheeler. They still have Lexi Hull. So the rest of the roster is a little bit in flux. And I'll be curious to see what the depth looks like. They also added Sophie Cunningham, who I think is a good streaky shooter that fits in with what the Fever are doing offensively, coming off of the bench. Grace Berger, she left. She's now in Minnesota. So last season, I think the Fever were exciting because they didn't really have much to lose. When you finish almost dead last a few seasons ago, you didn't have playoff or championship pressure. But now that we saw what they could do, and now that you add these big names into the mix, I think now that pressure and that spotlight gets a little brighter, and I'm expecting them to have a deep run in the playoffs. And when you have someone like DeWanna Bonner coming in and saying, I want a championship, you gonna get there, or you gonna get pretty close. Woo!
So look, shout out to Jordan. Very good segment in my opinion. Let's just go over a brief recap with the most dangerous rosters in the WNBA right now. We got the Sparks at number 5. A lot of you guys are gonna be, oh, the LA Sparks, dude. The LA Sparks are pretty stacked, and they have some of my favorite players on that team. Rakia Jackson, D Ham, De'Erica Hamby, Ray Burrell, Azrae Stevens, which is a underrated player, but she is hooping and unrivaled. I love Azrae Stevens' game. Kelsey Plum, Cameron Brinks is on her way back, and then I think they just signed somebody else, but they're loaded. They're loaded when it comes to young talent. They have Kelsey Plum now as a veteran. I think that team could do a lot of things this year. Atlanta Dream, obviously, they put a little team together too. Phoenix Mercury. Me personally, I'm putting the Minnesota Lynx above all. I'm putting the Minnesota Lynx right under the Fever, to be honest with you. And I'm not even going to put Vegas at the number 2 spot, to be honest. So, or 3 spot. But, as we talk about the Fever, what's going on over here is ridiculous. A straight championship team. Yes, we're going to hold them to a championship caliber team this year. Hey, they got the pieces. They got the Caitlin Clark 2.0. That's what I would call it. Not sophomore year. Or you could say sophomore year. I like to use that too. Hey, Caitlin Clark's a freshman. That's going into sophomore year. Like, I get it. I used that before. But, hey, this is Caitlin Clark 2.0 we're about to get. She's been locked in with Keith Porter, as she should, in that gym, locked in Indy. Locked in. I'm sure she's been watching film. Multiple different game films, and they're going over multiple different things. Coach Stephanie Weiss there, she keeps mentioning something about a left-hand layup. They're working. You don't have to worry about Caitlin Clark, what she's doing. She's getting better. I mean, the work will tell. The work does not go unseen. Trust me. Caitlin Clark's going to ball out this year. You add those pieces, like I've been saying, hey, this team's ready to go. They got pieces everywhere. They have so many different versatile players on this team. You don't understand how hard it is going to be to guard the Indiana Fever. Whoever is the coach for the opposing team that the Indiana Fever are playing, that you have to understand that your film session has to be Monday until you play them. Until you play the Fever, you need to have a film session on them every single day for at least 2 hours, because there's going to be so many different lineups, so many different schemes, so many different things Coach Stephanie White's going to put on you. You're going to be lost. You thought Caitlin Clark was a problem. You thought you had to double team Caitlin Clark. You can't double team nothing. You might have to double team fucking Kelsey Mitchell. You might have to double team DeWanna Bonner. DeWanna Bonner could get on a burner. I'm talking about if DeWanna Bonner gets in that mode, she can get on a burner. You have to worry about the streaky Cunninghams. You have to worry about the Natasha Howard going for 20 on you if you don't have a power forward, a real power forward. You might have to worry about AB giving you 7 assists and knocking down mid-range and working you down low. You might have to worry about that. You have to worry about the Lexi Hall knocking down the threes. You have to worry about that. You have to worry about the Cunningham. You have to worry about all the Dantes who could come off the bench and knock down threes. You have to worry about that, shooting a very high percentage. Demiris Dante shot a very high percentage last year, in my opinion. From the minutes that I saw her playing, oh for sure. And then you have Sydney Colson, a guard who could get in your ass if needed, control the offense, slow the pace down, be a floor general, or be a mentor, be a coach. I'm not expecting Sydney Colson to give you 15 points a night. No. But this team is loaded with veterans, toughness now, smart players, the best point guard in the league, one of the best coaches in the league, one of the best front offices in the league, one of the best facilities in the league, one of the best fan bases in the league. So I expect this team to go far. And this is the most dangerous team in the league. I'm going to say it again. So look, man, shout out to Jordan. That's all I got. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. I appreciate it. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers here. I couldn't do it without you. I'd love to get there by this weekend. I couldn't do it without you. We'll catch you on the next one. I'm out.